The following podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing said on the podcast should be construed as investment advice, nor should anything said be relied upon as the basis for any investment decision. Any reference to an investment's past or potential performance is not and should not be construed as a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit. All opinions expressed by hosts or guests on the podcast are solely their own personal opinions and do not reflect the opinion of everymickle.com or any company affiliated with the hosts or the guests. Hosts and guests on the podcast may maintain positions in securities discussed in the podcast. Neither everymickle.com nor its affiliates or subsidiaries warrant the completeness or accuracy of the opinions expressed herein, and they should not be relied upon as such. Strategies and investments discussed may fluctuate in price or value and may not be suitable for you. They do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs, and they are not intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security mentioned. Speak to a licensed investment advisor before making any investment decision.
Earnings season, bro.
All right, evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Testing one more time. Anybody can hear me? Somebody send an emoji if you can hear me. All right, thank you. All right, I see that you guys sending emojis. I think we're running a little low tech this evening. Still, I have a bigger tech problem than I'd like to have currently. So I think we just might go audio only, and I still need just a few seconds to ensure everything is going fine. Even to everybody, it's a very short BrickTalk this week. I think I'm going to have to run the whole thing from this account. I'm still having some trouble with my other account, and I don't want to get screwed up with the sound. So for a quick BrickTalk tonight, I just wanted to have one because a couple of people asked me why would I still bother to have it this evening, and I said I really want to keep the habit alive that we do it every week. Then I was going to be out this week from before, and I've decided that let's have a nice lighter one, maybe one that maybe the old podcast listeners might like a lot more. It won't be very long, so I might be on for maybe an hour, and we can talk about anything, or if anybody wants to, they can I don't know, send a topic or I'd like to hear just a couple of different thoughts, and I might talk about a player or two. And like I said, it's a very short one. So, a speaking request, as always, Dana is on this week, but we still go. And if you send a speaking request, we can talk for a few minutes or as long as you want on a topic you need. I just still want to make sure that I don't have any trouble with sound as we continue. And I've seen something might be causing me trouble. So, uh, I will have to double hack it, but yeah. So that's speaking request if you have anything early you want to talk about. And as we go on for the night, I will bring up one or two other things. Or if I don't get anybody talking, I might just go over a couple of the stats for the year to date that actually meant to the last episode, but couldn't. So pardon me if I seem a little more distracted tonight also. I am not working from the same system, and this one is giving me trouble. Oh, I said emojis a lot now. I think the delay is like 30 seconds from this, and I'm not used to doing it this way. The corporate body 3. Can you hear me?
Night, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. So I just want to take this opportunity to wish you, Brick Boss, a happy birthday. I know that based on your consistency and your dedication to, your business and our business, because, we're all in the business of, wanting to better ourselves and knowing more about the industry. You still came out and you're trying to make it work. So we just want enough respect. Thanks for showing up. And actually, I wanted to ask a question about your thoughts on Trans Jamaica and phosphorus. Not sure if we'll be able to have the conversation tonight, but maybe in another scheduled space we could talk about it.
We could. Well, I mean, you hearing me? No, I'm working from the phone alone. So if my sound starts to get weird again, you have to tell me. But I mean, we can talk. I did promise a couple of minutes if we can. And thank you. Let me start by saying that thank you. Thank you very much. It Thank you. It means a whole lot to me, especially at this point. Um, Ostrich or Trans Jamaica? Which one you
All
want to
right,
talk
so
about
let's talk
first?
about Trans
Wait.
Jamaica. So,
Before we do that, sorry, since we're doing this, I almost put myself mentally out of the podcast. Right? Let me just remind, especially since we're talking about stocks. This is definitely not an advisory show. I'm not an advisor. If you want to speak to anybody about your investments, you should speak to a licensed investment advisor. Then I, my co-host, who is usually here, is a licensed investment advisor. You can link him at dhalladvisory.com. And the conversations that you might hear on this episode, when it's Danai or anybody else, I guess, or anybody, is definitely not investment advice and should not be taken as such. All right. Um, Speak to a licensed investment advisor and don't listen to things you just hear people say on the internet. You need to understand what you're doing before you do it. That's my safety. Thank you. All right. So you were saying, let's start with which one?
Trans Jamaica. So I know that they had declared dividends to be paid on the 25th of October.
Mm-hmm.
And there was quite a stir. I think a lot of persons wanted to um, be a part of that dividend payment, so they would have bought up some of the stock or much of the stock over the past 2 weeks. Do you believe that um, because the ex dividend date would have passed and the record date would have passed, which is would have been between yesterday and today, do you think that next week when the market reopens there would be some traction on the stock? Because it fell back maybe about 10 cents. I recognize that um, maybe like in the past week. Do you think it will rally again?
Rally again. Boy, you put me on a spot.
I've been watching it because I knew that
Hold
it was
on.
dividend season. So
Okay. And they did have a big dividend. I'm working from memory, but they did have a big dividend. You remember exactly the dividend was?
I think it's .086.
0.086.
Yeah, so between
Exactly. What?
8 and 9 cents.
No, man. 0.086 is exact. And that's US cents. I'm asking. I don't have it in front
I
of me.
don't remember, but I know that it wasn't a bad dividend.
You know,
That was
dividend is bad. It's money that you don't have.
it's
Right?
money, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to um get your views on how you think the market would react to after the record date and ex dividend date has passed. You think everybody would try to dump, or you think um, we
Dump.
get some movement in the price?
Let me tell you one of the first things that I try to teach at Grow um, is the understanding of, I call it honesty with self, but I don't want it to, if I say it in context, you'll get it. But what I mean here is, like, if we just say what things are, it work much, 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 much better. Because I don't have the, I don't have the, I don't know if you listen to the show every week. I would talk a lot, but I try not to do the fancy talk. Meaning, not that what you're saying is fancy, but what you really mean is, do I think the price is gonna go down or is it gonna, what you say? Get traction.
Yeah, the activity. I
Which,
want to.
when you
I
say
mean,
get traction, you mean if the share price is going to go up, right?
if the share price goes up, usually because of a demand for it, but
That is true, 100%.
right, but because it would have gone up maybe in the past 2 weeks because people were trying to get the stock to benefit from the dividend payout
Hmm.
coming up. I'm thinking that people will try to dump the stock after after today, because you would only need it. You would only need to have to hold it up until today to benefit from that.
So
So
you
I
think
just
people might sell it heavily, so there might be more supply?
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
have a whole bunch now. People may want to offload.
But for when you say offload, you just mean sell, right?
Mean sell, sorry.
Yeah. And for you to sell it, somebody have to buy it, right?
Right.
So there really is always an equal amount of once there's active demand, there's always an equal amount of actual active. Like one requires the other. So what I want you to do is I don't want you to think of the selling as bad. You see, you're talking about it. I know you're not necessarily saying that directly, but you're coming at it from the bad place where if they sell, then the price might go down. It's likely to go down.
Yeah, I had a bad 3 months waiting because I bought some Fesco late June when there was a massive increase in the price. Within the between in the 590s to $6 region, and buy up some whole heap of Fesco, and I say yeah. I did some reading and I said, all right, that was in the period when gas prices went sky high, and every week, the price just go up more and more. And I said, all right, I think it would have been a good time to buy. And when I wanted to sell, mercy, I wasn't able to sell because clearly we don't want to sell at a loss. And I had to wait 3 whole months before I could sell and barely break even. So
And
it's a wait. It's a kind of, I don't even know if I had the patience until this whole Fesco fiasco for me. So
but Fesco taught you patience.
it did.
Oh,
It did.
oh,
Because there were lots of other opportunities that I wanted to um participate in, but I didn't get a chance because liquidity constraints. All of my money was, I bet all my money on Fesco.
bet all your
Which
money is scaring me a little bit,
no, as in what so um I wanted to benefit from a play, but it never worked out for me, and that's why I had to wait.
Okay, yeah. Mm.
So I made a tough decision to liquidate, get some gains. So I sell off some stocks, get some gains, and say, all right, I go and put that on Fesco and um, see if the price would have gone up. I was anticipating the price to go up, but it didn't. And when it actually did, I missed the my order wasn't filled. Somebody get cross, and I just had to wait for
Mm.
3 whole months.
And that was long for you, the three
It
whole
was
months.
very long.
Wow.
So I don't. So I kind of have a little a fear similarly for Trans Jamaica because I did buy some Trans Jamaica.
Sorry, it went quiet just now.
Can you hear me?
I sorry, you say you had a little, and then it went. You said
I
here,
have I have
here.
a fear now
Oh,
because
fair.
of
Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly.
right Trans Jamaica.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
boy. All right. So I listened to a lot of what you say. First of all, let me tell you, I understand the fear. Every time, I don't know if some people here, people who grow here, me talk about this. I get every time you click buy, you're afraid. Every time you click sell, you're afraid. And I say you, I mean me. Everybody. It's either those people who are afraid or not admitting it. That's because at the end of the day, you are making an assumption that something will happen in the future, but you're not really sure, right?
right,
Yeah, and the way that you want to get to that surety is to the more you know about the thing, right?
right,
Yeah, so if I can give you one tip, you want to know the most that you can about whatever it is you're going to put your money in, or whatever it is you have put your money in. If your money in there, you definitely want to know it.
absolutely.
And I mean, not just know. I like that. I can tell that you keep up with your investments, because like you talk about the trend Jamaica from the position of the dividend, and then the effect on the market. If you say you're doing the plays as short as like 3 months is long for you, then you pay attention to the market, I'm assuming.
daily.
Wow. All right, so it's your thing. I like that.
The thing is, you
You want
always want to to capitalize on opportunities, and when you see certain news come out, you really want to get an understanding of what is happening and how it can benefit you as an investor. Not because and the thing is, I know that it's not a one size fits all, and what a play that benefit me may not be a good play for somebody else, because maybe when what I did really fesco, somebody else wouldn't have done it because they would have cited that it wasn't an ideal time to buy, you know? So we all make decisions based on, our risk appetite and say, boy, can I really afford? Because I couldn't afford to lose. So I said, you know what, I just have to do the wait game. I'm not going to buy something and lose. I had to wait on the opportunity where I can either break even or get again.
I
Cause
get you.
we're really not in the business of losing money.
That I agree 100% on that. How long have you been doing this?
I have been personally investing since the listing of, or just before main event started listing.
Oh, well, no, that's all. That's
But you see, the thing is, um, experience in Jamaica, we learn to say, we have a saying, we say, experience teaches wisdom, and it took a time for me to get to where I'm in terms of, and I don't even think I know that much. You can go to school, and I think I'm very interested in probably signing up for grow, because I want to see things from the perspective in which you are teaching,
hmm
um so I can get some additional knowledge there, or get that perspective then, so I can use that to help me to make some sound decisions.
I hear
um
that. I mean, I like that. I like that. Of course, I'm flattered if you've heard about it. I think that it will help you that which it will. Um, and but really, I've been trying. Like I've been listening to you talking. I not interrupting you. I listen to you talk because one, I like how excited you sound about the market. I like that you're not taking it blindly. You're not just. I mean, you're trying a thing, as you say, but you're doing it with intention. You're having you're looking at the experience. You're actually putting out what, like you're being careful, and you know that there are things you don't know you need to learn, right?
uh,
And
right.
the beauty, yeah, the beauty of that attitude, at least as I see it, is that it's fit for where you are in the market, and that attitude will never not work well for you. Because at least I don't know. I've been in it a while too, and still learning every day.
Yeah, and I think a lot of investors don't understand that it's an evolving thing. Investment is just not, it's not today the same thing, and it's gonna be continuing straight throughout. There are principles that will, hold, but then there are going to be times when you have to evolve and view things differently and have a different perspective in terms of, you know when when you're going to why you're putting your money in this, when you're putting your money in this, um how soon you want have access to it, because a lot of the times, if the money that I put in Vesco was all that I had to my name, that would have been like a nightmare, because it's like a gamble out everything. But you have to be wise, and assess your personal circumstances.
All
So
right. So like you see, I like how you sound like the verve you have for the thing, but I keep wanting to help you. At the end part, you keep going dangerous. So kind of like it's like you're saying, yo, I know things rough. I have to get it right. I'm taking the best route I can to the cash pot shop, right? And and it's just the last part because it's not like cash pot. And I like the energy I hear you put into it because you will benefit from not just grow, but even just even just even learning more will change a whole heap for you. You were right in that, yes, the market has evolved nicely, heavily and nicely over the last 10, 15 years, even over the last 5 years. It's grown greatly. Sometimes you hear that I talk and we mention that even how the market is now is not how it was when, let's say, Wigton had just listed and a lot of new people came into the market. And
Facts.
at that point, it had the market visibly changed. Um, and if the one thing I can do to help you and anybody listening who is on that journey is you don't I can't understate the importance of the knowledge, and you can get the knowledge everywhere and you get knowledge in everywhere, and it's linked to this. Let me wrap it all together so I don't sound like I'm rambling. It's linked to the fact that the one you said that a few things that will never change because markets are markets, but the market itself will evolve over time, right? And when you're in it, if you want to be successful at it, you have to adapt, right?
Right.
But there are parts that will not change, and those parts are linked to what the core of the market is, and that is people.
And because
So
people influence the market.
no, people, the market is people. That's all it is.
I never thought of it like that.
I know.
And that's another perspective.
No, it is that perspective. Just keep
Mhm.
following that one. That's
Oh,
all it is. Think about it. I was trying to make this point earlier, but it links back to your trans Jamaica point. You're worried that after the holiday weekend and people come back and it's after the dividend record date, um, a lot more people might sell, so the price might go down, right?
right,
Somebody has to sell for the price to go down. That part is clear, right?
right.
Somebody have to buy for somebody to sell.
Which is right.
That's all the market is.
I see where you're going,
So
and I
it will
appreciate.
always require two
Yeah,
people or two bodies.
because it's an exchange. So
Exactly.
definitely, yeah, I see
Because
where you're
you
going.
you you don't approach with fear the price, as you say, flying, right? You gave a really good corporate term. Say it again.
Pardon?
You use a fancy term for the price. You didn't say the price flying. You said like it's appreciating heavily. You didn't say appreciating heavily.
Rally?
Rallying, right? But what you really
Hmm.
mean is go up and hopefully go up really fast and heavily, right? You'd love to hear that, yo, you lick the upward circuit breaker.
Then I must, man.
Yeah,
More
man,
money.
right? But do you know that that also requires somebody else on the other side? Somebody have to sell.
Right.
So don't demonize the sell.
Hmm.
You need it for the price to fly, as you say. And the only reason why somebody would sell at a price, well, why do you sell?
To make a gain.
There we go, right? Or
Hmm.
you might need the money.
And that's the thing. I don't, and that's what I don't practice.
You need the
So
money?
no, no,
Okay.
no, no. So I have a view on. I do, it's a big, well. You said not supposed to use too much big terms, but
No.
um.
Sorry, don't make me cramp you at all. Like I have no problem
So
translating if it needs to,
cash
but
cash flow, or they call it liquidity, is something that as an investor I don't try to tie up my everyday money in um on the market. So
except
planning,
for fiscal.
and that's the thing. It wasn't I was saying that that money for Fesco, I did kind of nervous. It wasn't all my money, but it was a good portion of my portfolio that I would have
But later on, you say
used.
you bet everything.
When I say everything, it's not my day-to-day money that I'm talking about my investment portfolio.
I get
So
you.
monies in my investment portfolio that I am trying to trade to grow to achieve a particular goal cannot
Uh-huh.
be my money that I'm going to use to buy petrol or to use to buy groceries at the supermarket, because you're or for an emergency. Your stock account is not an emergency account.
Why not?
Because so for me it's all about planning. So for
But
example,
you can't plan an emergency.
no, I understand that, but I'm saying your emergency savings or
Uh-huh.
your emergency funds should be
Uh-huh.
something that is more liquid than a stock account.
Like
That's
what?
my personal view.
Understand. Why?
Because
Why?
just as how, what if I had an emergency throughout that 3 month period,
Uh-huh.
I should have access to cash to take care of whatever the emergency um is, you know.
All right, hold on, help me out. Give me an example of an emergency that I could be in. So something happened to me Tuesday. God forbid. Please. Please. It's just an example. God. Please.
Nobody use that example there
Yeah.
where gotta go
No, no,
for.
no, go ahead. Go ahead though. I'd rather say me than you, so it's okay. I don't know if it's me alone, but I'm not hearing you again. Hello? I'm not hearing her. I'm barely hearing her. I don't know. I don't know if something's happening with your microphone or your headphones, or is it mine? Jutsa, can you hear me?
Yes, Randy.
Are you hearing her?
No, I'm not hearing her.
Okay. All right. I'm so sorry. The corporate body, if you can hear me, you can. I don't know if you can maybe jump off and jump back on. And I will. I don't know if she's hearing me. Jutsa, what's up? I'm so sorry. Corporate body, if you can come back on right after if you sort that out. But we weren't hearing you. In the meantime, though, Jutsa, what's up?
Hi, Randy. First,
Yo,
let me tell you happy birthday. I hope your day went well. And I
thank
hope
you.
your night is even going better. And of course, I know that you'll have a great night tonight. I hope so.
Thank you.
How everything, Randy?
I think so. Okay. I'm happy. I'm still angry at this computer, but I also don't mind a nice audio. It reminds me of podcast I used to get to
Yeah,
listen
man.
to.
Yeah, man. It's like go so many times. Well, I'm not going to be long. I just telling you, every time like I make a little play, I
Mhm.
always have to say, thanks to Randy and, see her on Twitter and just decide that, oh, your tweet was interesting. Just as something as simple as that in December, towards the end of December. And I have been very happy since. Yep.
Oh, first
And
of
I
all,
am,
thank you. And
yeah,
I'm happy to hear that. Which tweet though?
I don't remember. My son said I needed to get a Twitter account. And I got one and I said, so how do I find you? And he said, Mommy, you're not going to find me. I don't want you to look for me. And I'm
I
like
don't
embarrassed. And I
understand
said,
that.
all right. So I said, all right. And then I just ran. I just was just looking on Twitter. And then I saw you said something, of course, about money. Grabbed my attention. I followed you, and that was just it. And it was per tree time, remember? And it has been good ever since. I've had a little down, yes, but it has been good. Very, very good.
I love that. I remember some of our conversations, and I still very very happy to hear it. Every time there are a couple of stocks that every time Dan and I talking about it, after like I remember you, I think I heard a couple of them,
Yeah,
and
man, my,
I
my
remember also
poetry and my SVL.
yeah, and what I really liked was I still like is the reason and the approach that you bring to it. I know it
Yeah,
helped you out,
man.
especially at a time when teachers were getting a whole heap of attention. You're showing a
Oh,
nice other path. I really, really like that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man.
Um, I hope things good with you. Also mentioned your family. I know you said you had an emergency, sort of, right?
Yeah, yeah. Difficult emergency, but we had the cash wasn't the emergency because the stock had paid for it. We always I am very, very glad for that, you know. You
And
know.
if corporate body, if you listen to this, that's the answer to what you are saying with you just now. That
Right.
yeah,
Right.
stock is even in finance, even in proper accounting, they consider cash and cash equivalents, and stocks is almost like it's a cash equivalent because you can turn it into cash so quickly.
Right, right.
Yeah, but it has a greater potential for growth than almost every other not almost than every other investment
Investment, yeah. Mm-hmm.
type or class.
Yeah, man. So I know as usual going to say what I did in the last month.
Yeah, I
Well,
hear no, I hear you talking about something's not going so well. It's the first I hear you that.
yeah, it's just one little thing, you know, but it's not like that one was an investment to how I
Mm-mm.
understand the term. I wanted to participate, Randy, in the rights issue. I've never participated in anything outside of stock equity because that's all I know.
I
So
understand.
I just say, you know what? I'm gonna put some money in iCreate. So I average out iCreate at $3. You know what is happening to iCreate. I
I
still
don't know
waiting
what's
because
happening with iCreate.
the stock price down. But
Yeah, but that's
I waiting
that's
on
a
them
month.
to tell me how much I'm going to get. From what I reading, like they're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to give a number and say you can get based on how much I buy, I supposed to can get X amount at a reduced cost. I kind of waiting on that. I have not seen that yet. Nobody not write me. I hope it's not something that passed me, but I am waiting to see how much stock I'll get, and I want to see the reduce the price at which I'll get that stock.
I think a lot of people are also doing the same way. Um,
Okay.
it's a conversation, but you don't have to guess. You can always check it out mymoneyja.com/stock/iCreate and or just go mymoneyja.com and hit Control K if you're on a computer and put
So
in
they decide
iCreate.
what they're selling it at? They decide
Now, I'm
what
saying that you
price?
could do that because then you could look at the iPad page and you'd always be able to see what the news is, or you can follow the Evermickle news feed. And you, if the
Oh,
iPad news
yeah,
is there,
man, I
you could
follow that
see it.
man. I follow that man, of course.
And you
It's just,
search it. If you
it's
search
not
it,
in there. It not,
yeah, so not, you can't see it if it don't come out to the public. So
okay, good.
yeah,
It's
man,
just, I just
that's
want
just
to make sure that it, I know I don't see it yet, and I know, and I check every mickle every day. I check it, every day. So I know. But guess what I did the other day?
what's
I
that?
bought some, I bought some jam tea. Now I'm writing down all my stock
You
things.
should give an
Because
alert
I
for that. You should get
do
an alert
listen,
for that.
listen, hold on. You see, when I do it on some platform, it's clear, but sometimes JMB give me a little trouble to find some things on the platform. So anything I do on JMB, I write it down. Now old fashioned, yes. So
You
on
know,
Monday,
sorry,
so my book,
you can import your GMB portfolio to my money JA, right?
every day you tell me that I don't get the chance yet. I'm telling you.
Just go to the wiki, in the
Mhm.
little column on the left. It'll start
Uh-huh.
go wiki and click JMB portfolio import instructions. And there's just the
See,
pictures. It
just
carries
like
you
that.
right through it. Yeah. It carries you right through
Um,
it. It's an easy set of steps.
all
And
right,
every time you do it,
have an
yeah,
extra day this weekend, so
you won't
all
need a
right.
day because you won't have to, we'll calculate everything for you. You don't have to do
Oh,
it yourself.
oh,
You
I'll
literally
do
just
it
click it
over the
once it
weekend. That's what I mean.
imports.
I'll do it over the weekend.
Okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it right. You can do it when we're talking now. The stocks look nicer
I
when
suppose.
you're listening.
Well,
Yeah,
let me finish with that tech savvy. Anyway, so this is what I did
I feel the
here
same way today.
on Monday, but that on Monday the 12th of September. You see how far a long time I not do no thing. On Monday the 12th, I bought jam tea. I bought it at $2.50. And I sold it.
Monday the 12th?
Monday the 12th of September, I bought jam tea. It was
Okay.
$2.50.
Uh-huh.
And I sold it on Wednesday. That is the Wednesday of that week. And I sold it at $2.87. So I was nice with that.
Um, everybody has strike tonight.
No, that's a from September. That's 12th of September. And I
But
also
yeah, but
bought.
you know that's what I love is that you don't even know that's you bought it at 250. That's what you said?
Jam tea, I bought it at 250, yeah, on Monday the 12th. Monday the
And
12th,
you sold it 2 days later
yeah,
at.
at $2.87.
So even if which broker you use?
This one that I wrote down, I don't even know which one that I use.
What's their fees? That's what I want.
Oh, the fees. No, man, after fees, after I take out my
No,
fees and
what's
everything,
the
man.
broker fees? Really?
I
So
don't know if it is the 1 or the 2%. I think probably it is NCB or is it JMB? I don't remember. Because is either NCB or JMB. I didn't put which one that I
both
use
of those
here.
both of those I think are at the 1% level plus the
Yeah, man.
JCSD fees.
And I did make a little change there, so.
But a little change.
Yeah, I did make a little change there, so. And I got Spurtree at $3.58 the very same day, but I had to wait a little longer. And in October, the 5th of October, I sold it for $3.82. So I'm going on. Doing my little thing.
You're not doing that your little thing. You are. That's why I want to like. Okay, even if we account for 2% fees on top of your 2.5 and your 287, that's still 12. That's still not a 10%.
Yeah.
There are people who wait a year. There are people who wait a year to get bonds that pay them 8%, and they consider themselves happy to get an 8% bond.
I see them there, especially when like the bonds come in US and say you have to have this amount. I just laughing and say I staying in my little corner. I staying right over here in my corner.
I'm trying to be the one to say you be careful. I know that you're careful because I know I've heard you talk through your method, and I know that you understand the risk.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
You can't argue with profit.
I not argue with no profit.
And I find it amazing how many, like, I don't know if I've said this before. I know I've said this before, but maybe not recently. Like, a lot of grower is a lot of women. A lot of women do grow, and the thing I find the most is that women tend to underestimate how deadly this can be in the stock market.
Yeah, man.
You know how many years I used to yap about stocks before I even meet somebody like Danai? Yet within that time, there's top striker Shan. Like women are hitting the market in a way that I don't know if you know. Like it's always funny to me when I'm talking to a woman who is starting out and she's so like, oh, it's kind of like, you feel like you're in a rougher place, a man's world, and I'm looking at them one and you don't realize that, like, oh, I don't know if it's how women generally, or maybe Jamaican women approach problems, maybe a little bit more analytical, a little bit more think about what happened, or maybe social, maybe that you think more about the people and these people behind the market. But the things that you guys are doing, and I don't mean like anybody just buying blindly. Like I hear, if anybody listen to any of the early episodes that you were on, they'll hear you talk about even just some of your method. And you're not foolish, you know your math, right?
Yeah, and I do a whole heap of research. I do a whole heap of research, and I read a whole heap of graph. You have to read the graph. You have to analyze where if this is that, that is that.
That's not at all what I thought you were talking about. I was talking about understanding my thoughts on the importance of understanding the company. Like the thing that you're buying. Yeah. But you are actually doing it from the position of you're looking at the charts.
I look at everything because I read because like even like dollar. I have investment in dollar, and I know that it is a good company in my mind. How I look at it, because everybody's different. I like dollar, so I just sit down there with dollar because I like it. I'm not going buy. It's not for me to buy dollar today and turn it tomorrow. That probably is for somebody else. For me, I want to be a part of dollar. So I have investments sitting in dollars. So even if it goes a little down, a little up, a little down, a little up, I am not perturbed by that. You understand? Because dollar is one of my newer companies that I am putting some time into.
Here's
You
what
know,
here's what I'd say. Here's two things for that. One, you know my view on that. You don't invest for time, you invest for money. But I love the view. I
right.
love what you're saying here. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's a great thing. That is as that is how it actually is. At least everybody I know who's actually good at it, that's what they do. You have a couple of things that you care about, you truly believe in. That as strong part of your strategy, and then you have the other things that you see more opportunities for profit in.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
try to give everybody a little gift, if I can, when I talk to them tonight or every night, but tonight
Yeah,
specifically.
man.
One thing I can help you with is eh, I'm trying to find the right way to say it. Mm. You, it's built on how you are describing the thing with dollar, like saying it almost like I don't want you to think of it as a shameful thing or something wrong. That is how it should be. If I could help you do one thing there, it's to take it a little further, meaning in two ways. One, it's not that you're spending time in dollar, it's that you're looking for a certain amount of money. You're looking for a certain you are looking for a certain amount of growth out of it, right?
Right, right.
That's why you're looking for a certain amount of growth, and that's why you went in. You know, I believe that that should be the way that you should go into anything. Still agreeing with you on the dollar point. Hold on, hold on. But if you really believe what you believe, you shouldn't be saying, I'm not perturbed when I see it go down. You should be saying, every time it go down. You see how the difference in how
Yeah,
you view the thing?
and you know that's exactly how I view it. But then the realistic part of it is that
No,
when I saw it go down, I said I should, because I believe in the company,
here,
I should have bought more.
okay, but you
But
didn't.
didn't no cash finish.
All right,
I
all right.
ran right off the cash.
But, and I
Yeah.
like that to use every time. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that we often find that we have more cash than we think we have.
No, Randy, let me tell you, when I saw something, even month end, please, September month end,
Hmm.
I just take up my salary and say, hold on, all of this is going right there. So
Okay, wow.
and let me tell
The
you,
corporate body here.
the weekend was rough, but the week paid off. So there's sometimes even when I see something like even you see Spurtree, you know Spurtree is originally what I like. And I saw Spurtree go down to $3.49. And see it here in my book, wish I had money and I had to have a sad face beside it. But
You
I
read, oh,
run
you
right
really do
out of
write
money.
everything down.
Yeah, I write everything down. But I'm not spending any longer. I just want to big you up and I thank you, for everything that you did for me, but for the community on a whole, Jamaica. Whoever want to have an opportunity in Jamaica to make something to have, good conversations on Friday night. I really appreciate it. Even though your birthday on a Friday, I want to say, make it short and go enjoy yourself. But
Oh,
people still learn. So still we are still here with you for as
oh,
long as you're keeping it for, all right? And have
thank
a
you.
good one. Yeah,
Thank you
but
very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Um, uh, corporate body three, if you can, like, if you can send back the request. I don't know. I want to hear what you're saying at the end there, and I think your sound went bad. But I hope you heard some of what the teacher striker was saying, because I think she brought a realistic view also to the to what's possible on the market and what's realistic on the market. I wish teacher striker the next time you come on and talk in another week, especially when Dana is here. I want to talk about that thing because I think you said that you're using the actual charts, like you're reading the charts.
yes, I read the charts. But
You
remember,
have
I
made
don't
money
mind.
from reading the charts.
Yeah.
I forgot to talk to you about that to see if you actually. Yeah, we'll talk.
All right, no problem. Anytime you're ready. Yeah.
Yeah, as in, we'll talk.
All right.
Yeah, where did you get that from? Like, why did you choose to do that?
Remember, I teach maths.
I know, no, I know that. I'm asking why did you?
I can look at the chart and look at the length of the line, look at I can't tell you. I can't. Probably.
Yeah, we'll talk. Then I will hear
All
this.
right.
We'll talk.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, corporate body, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry about that. My AirPods fell out, and I just was a crazy thing that just happened. So I
No
missed
problems.
quite a bit of what happened when the accident. So yeah, you could share what was said when I got disconnected. Okay.
I will try. It actually answered a lot of she spoke about a lot of the things you spoke about, but from another perspective. So the last thing you were saying, if I remember correctly, is that you were saying that you don't think of like your emergency fund really has to be cash. That's pretty much what you're saying.
Something that I have access to offset that emergency or to
Quickly.
yeah.
How quickly is quickly?
Immediately. So it would
What's
be money
immediately?
that you have in your bank account. You can go to ATM
No,
and
man, I'm not
withdraw.
asking what it is. I'm asking what is immediately. So that's why I'm asking. Give me an example of something that could happen to me. And again, Father God, it's just an example, please. Please.
All right.
Oh God, don't wait that
Yeah.
long. You're making me get nervous.
I don't know.
Just pick
It's
something.
usually emergencies, either like injury or illness or something. But
All right,
I'm saying
let's go injury. Like what happened?
maybe I have a motor vehicle in accident or something, or I played football or basketball, something happened on the court or something, and you have to turn up to get treated at a medical facility, and maybe you don't have health insurance, and you need cash
About how
to,
much cash you think we need for this emergency?
well, to see the doctor usually is like $5,000.
And um and let's say the doctor say, okay, you need to pay for the cast, you need to pay for the bed that you're balling in, you need to pay for the hospital underwear.
Mm-hmm. The
You
whole
have to
shebang.
you have to pay for the medication, yada yada yada. How much money you think I need?
It all depends. Let's say maybe.
Give me a realistic number, like a fearful number, but a
I'm
realistic
not gonna
one.
give you. I'm not gonna give you Andrew's memorial prize, you know.
No, why
So.
not? Suppose that was weird. Suppose that was the closest one as. Suppose that, that was one as closest to.
No, I'm gonna walk go up a KPH or University Hospital,
But then you're
maybe.
not
Well,
gonna
God
need no
forbid.
money.
Suppose you can't.
All right. You have a point. I'm just saying maybe 200,000.
All right. How quickly I need it?
The same night, I presume.
Mm. But you can't draw 200,000 from the ATM.
No, you can't.
You can't, but at the same time, you
You have to wait until Tuesday.
well, if it happened this weekend,
Yeah, it's an emergency. You can't plan it.
But either way, you wouldn't. I personally wouldn't liquidate my stocks to pay for the bill.
But it's an emergency.
Yeah, but I personally view it a different way. So
Yeah, but you need the cash.
I'm not selling at a loss.
Yeah, but you need your leg.
And why do you have to be at a loss?
Why am I
Sorry.
convincing her about the use of her legs?
It's gonna stop stressing me out in the space, yeah.
No,
Um,
seriously. As in,
um,
okay, let's play with it. Let's continue. You need it. Your legs, you said, is 200 grand. You
mhm.
can't draw 200 grand from the ATM.
You can multiple times.
Not over one day. 24 hours have to pass.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Which bank? Which bank are we using?
well, I'm using Scotiabank.
Upchop. All right. So we're using
Not
Scotia
even
and
worse.
yeah, I did. That's what,
And
60 grand a month?
No, you're able to
60
withdraw.
grand
You're
admin.
able to withdraw 100.
Maybe you are able to withdraw 100, but most people aren't able to withdraw 100.
Okay.
So you're going to do it in pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and you might hit the daily limit.
The limit.
Yeah. Also, your cards got damaged in the accident, so you're not doing
Hey,
it.
you would
Also,
know you will build out a worst case scenario. It's very worst case, you know. Damn.
no, that happens to many people all the time. That's actually a normal thing. Go to the hospital every night it happens. We just don't know who it is, so we try to be safe. So this is the emergency that you are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of wrong. You can plan for an emergency. This is it. He says 200 grand. You can't go. You don't have your cards. You don't even know where your vehicle is. And it's a holiday weekend, so the card machine is down. So what are you going to do?
The hospital have to give me credit.
They are. You have to pay us until maybe 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do?
Well, that's a tough question, you know.
Yep.
And
That's how emergencies are.
it's not a ABCD when in doubt through C
No,
situation.
it's a realistic situation. So what are you going to do?
And you say that the hospital need payment right away.
No, you said that. I said
Oh.
that the card machine is down.
Mm-hmm.
And so you said, I'm going to give you credit. And I said, okay, they're giving you credit. They said they're giving you like 7 days credit.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a week now to pay them.
To
So,
pay.
of course, banks are open until Tuesday. And you lost everything. So we know you're in the hospital, ma'am, and can't walk, but you need to come in branch to sign the document to get back the replacement. I'm sorry, that's the policy. So you're not also going to get it because you can't leave the hospital for 5 days. But you have your iPad.
Yeah, so
You can't transfer it to the bank. You can't transfer it to the hospital from the bank either. Or you reported the card stolen, so they locked the account down.
but so the thing is, Randy, even all right, I see where you're going, and even if I need to
I'm
sell,
going wherever I want, but you're in the
wherever
hospital.
you want to go, but wherever it is that I have cash, because if I'm going to sell and this selling a stock is still going to take me 2 days.
Hold on, so that's weird. So you are selling the stock then?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying
I
I
never
see where
mentioned
you're
about
going,
selling the
and
stock.
if
I
you
just tell you what's happening. You don't have
well
access to your money.
not having, so I can access, so there are multiple ways for you to access your personal cash within your account
Let me tell you
from
something
your
about
bank.
the corporate shop. When them say
Pardon?
it's locked down, when the card machine is down, the card
Mm-hmm.
machine is down. The system is down.
Mm-hmm.
And you also reported your card stolen.
Mm-hmm.
So the bank, in their wisest and proper precautions,
Mm-hmm.
they blocked all of your financial services.
Mm-hmm.
And you can lift it. It's easy to lift. You just have to come in branch and sign up the paperwork and carry 2 pieces of ID to prove that you
So
are you.
right, and if it's a medical emergency, based on my
I'm
experience
sorry, ma'am, that's the policy.
based on my experience with bankers, they come to me too. Just
Wow.
like how when they wanted me to buy sign up for the credit card or the car loan or
No, no,
whatever,
no.
they come to you.
No, they'll come to you for the credit card, but they're not coming to you to do the banking from your bed. So they're going to allow you to withdraw from your bed. They'll come to you when they
No,
want to take the
they
money.
can come to me for me to verify paperwork, for me
They
to sign out the
can, but they
documents. And
won't.
why are you making this hard though?
No, I'm sorry. I try not to insult any bank, but I'm making that very realistic. There's some people who work at the bank right now who knows that I'm being very honest. I'm sorry, sir, but that's the policy. I understand that you can't come in, but the policy is that you have to come in.
I had to come in to link my JTrader account to one of them broker here. You go to me, say, welcome to my hospital bed for free up funds. That's
Come,
You're not serious. You serious?
Of course. Which
Still
bank are
easy.
going to the hospital bed?
Oh my
Hospital?
God.
No way.
Is it because I don't know how to answer this
Yeah, you do,
question?
because you notice something, you keep going back to selling the stock.
But
But
I
you say
don't have to sell it. That's the thing. Because ER, put it this way.
how are you gonna access your money then?
Yeah, but how if I was to sell the stock,
No,
right?
no, no.
Whether
I'm not
gain what
asking about the stock. You know, every time I ask you that question, you come back to the stock. How are you going to get money?
I'd have to walk. I'd have to go
You
myself.
can't. You physically cannot
Well,
walk.
send somebody.
No, you have to. The person has to be you.
I don't know. I don't have the answer. I can't. I can't.
You
I
have the
can't
answer.
think so
You come
far.
into it and then saying no. You have to sell the stock. But you did raise a point, a real point. You said it might take you like 2 days before you get the money from selling the stock, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. So if
Hold
I
on.
so the scenario of selling the stock, whether I get a gain or a loss, and I
Uh-huh.
sell the stock, the settlement, as you
Tuesday.
know, going to take me
Yes.
2 days to get that money.
But the
Now,
hospital gave you 7,
mm-hmm.
so you have time.
But I'm saying, if
It's now
all my
Tuesday.
if my banking services are shut down as per your
Yeah, but
scenario,
you have the broker. The broker can send money to the hospital account for you. That's part of the job. So if you sell Tuesday, you have the money by Thursday. Thursday evening if you have a good broker. Big
mm-hmm.
up my broker. Um, and you get your bills paid and you get the nice service from the hospital to your home. Um, and you probably have more money than you needed to pay the bill. And let me tell you something, the hospital will be happy. They were really just they're pretending, they're bluffing when they said 7 days. People don't pay hospital bills all the time. So the fact that you even pay they are really happy. They might even give you a discount for early payment. I'm dead serious. People don't pay hospital
Randy,
bills all the
you go
time.
wild with the scenario though.
No, I'm going realistic with this scenario. This is what happens in real life. So suddenly you have sold, maybe you sold more than 200,000 worth of shares. Maybe you just sold all the shares. So you have more than 200,000 left. Like what you had more than 200,000 worth.
Yes.
You have some cash in your J Trader account now,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a lot of time because you literally can't go anywhere. So you can sit in front of that computer and learn about the market in a deeper way now because you literally can't go anywhere. But you have an opportunity now
I see where you go.
to make back the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see what you really did is that you use the stocks as an emergency fund. Stocks are an emergency fund. Stocks are one of the best emergency funds. Stock plus credit card, almost
Mm-hmm.
unbeatable.
So I didn't take it from that perspective, but I welcome it. So thanks for that eye opener.
You're welcome.
I personally didn't want to mess with my goal, and I know it's because of the whole, yeah, you plan for well, you don't usually plan for certain types of emergency. So day-to-day emergency you may be able to, you know, um at
A day-to-day thing can be emergency. What you hear now is reality. Day-to-day is not
Mhm.
emergency. Day-to-day is day-to-day.
Well,
An emergency is an emergency. You have emergencies every day.
you're right.
Yeah. So
I
the thing is,
appreciate I appreciate your perspective. Really
you're
do.
very, very welcome. And I know other people probably picking it up too. And I want you to get it that you are very correct in what you're saying, It's just I just want you to actually go into the reality of what you're saying. So like if you need money in an emergency, it means that you need money in probably X amount of days. And almost anything above a certain amount of money is not necessarily needed immediately. And the bigger the emergency is the higher the level of money needed.
Right.
So a hospital is not going to kick you off the bed. And if you pay in a week, if you even pay in 2 weeks, if you pay in a month, if you just pay, you are ahead of most of the people that go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a realistic thing to think about. Anytime you're thinking about the investment, you're not messing with the goal, you are investing along your reality. And anytime you invest along your reality, it makes much, 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 much more sense. And let me also tell you that, yo, you want to see the power of it, you don't have to be going as short as you've been going. Like 3 months that's a quarter. That's 1 quarter. I have plays that I've been waiting at 10, 15 quarters for. I've plays I've been waiting years for. A quarter is barely nothing. Something will happen and it takes more than a quarter to react to.
Mm-hmm.
Or to put it in a way that maybe that you can get it better is, if you try the level of work you've been using now on a time period longer than a quarter, you might be very surprised at the effects that you get. Like 3 months is a very short time. So try for don't no, I'm not discouraging you with the shorter stuff. What I'm saying, if you want to, like, it's like you're learning to ride, so you want to try the easier thing first, and then before you get more complicated, the shorter time period is much, 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 much more complicated.
Oh, absolutely.
So try lengthen your time a little bit, and I think you might get some strong, 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 strong results. And look at the understanding of the thing. And I'm saying that, bring it back to your TJH point, where if you look at the understanding of the thing in the case of TJH, you wouldn't have gone in there at all if you're thinking anything near term. And if you had understood in a better way what it was before, it wouldn't have pulled your money, and then you wouldn't have lost however many months. So the trick there is to learn from that. Like, learn the thing well before you go in it. And it might save you from going in something, or more importantly, it will put you in a better thing, or put you in the right thing for the right time. You get me?
Yeah.
I really like the fact that you're thinking about the like the level of thought that you put into the dividend, around the dividend, and you're talking about, if they're selling down after the X date. I would say that if you are that worried about a drop, you why would you stay in a place where you are afraid?
So
And if the fear is coming from not really knowing what might happen, then the strength is going to come from getting better at knowing what might happen. And if you get good enough, I know that if you get good enough at that, you probably wouldn't buy TJH. Or you would have done it only if you had a smaller percentage goal. And most importantly, you would have probably come out before more of the drop had happened.
well, the thing is, I have had multiple plays with this stock.
What's up when you say multiple plays? What you mean?
As in, there were periods when I bought it when it was in the 120s, and I got dividend opportunities from it. I got gains from it. So I do make some plays with the stock itself, and I've earned from it. This time around, though, it's a heavier.
How the 120s plays go?
So 125, 126 going to 130s, over maybe 2 or 3 months.
It's the only time it has ever done that in its entire history. This is in April, March to May of this year.
This year, right?
March to April of this year. By May, it had fallen
Right.
much more. Yeah. So you don't
And
have any
coming back,
history before that to really match that kind of a rise.
coming back. So So and I spoke about. Remember, I spoke about the dividend. So I was talking about the
No, man, I get you, you know, but I'm going off the first thing you said. It's important that you're actually honest with yourself about the thing that you're basing your money against, because it would have allowed you to know that if you're saying that it can be multiple plays that you've done like that, you've only done one play like that on it, and you didn't get out.
So I had sold, so buying it in the 120s, and I sold in the 130s. Before that, I held it from the IPO going into early this year.
Like April, May.
Yes.
Yeah, so you held it from IPO till now.
Right, but I had acquired more when it was in the 120s.
Okay. And so
Right.
you got, I like that. So you after holding it for many years, the very first time it came back close to and broke IPO level is the time you sold.
Right.
So
And
you've
then
been waiting for a long, long time to get out.
right. And then
That's the honest thing with yourself. So what you need to do then is think about that and use that knowledge around the next investment. That is the honesty with yourself part there. So it wasn't really a play. It's dangerous to call it a play because people do other things and they call it plays. And if we all call the same thing plays when they're not, it can lead to the wrong people trying to follow it, or the wrong people thinking they're doing something that they're not. So it's not really a play unless the play was, let me buy this IPO and wait a long, long time. And the first time it passed, I can get out at profit. I'm out at profit. And I know that because you said you would not sell your stock to give you the cash them so you
right. So
can walk.
I held it. Only on the prime. Well, apart from the fact that I'm clearly not. I don't want to make a loss. It paid dividends. So I was okay because I was making something, but I wasn't satisfied with the fact that I didn't have a lot of volume in it. I didn't have a lot of TJH shares, so I could
The
say, yeah,
yield,
man,
the yield on the dividend is next to nothing for you. The yield on it might be nice, but the amount it's what is
right.
it?
So it wasn't
3%?
doing much for me.
Yeah, you see, when you're more honest with yourself, you weren't getting the money you wanted.
Right.
Say
So
that instead.
in my
Hold
mind,
on, no. Say that instead. If it's not giving you the money you want, then you should be going for something that gives you the money you want, right?
right.
And you know that. And in every other part of your life, you do that, right?
Right.
So who told you that there is a virtue in not doing it in the stock game? Because if you're taking the money out at a loss a year ago, what else could you possibly have put the money in? Or 2 years ago?
There were lots of opportunities.
Yeah. And so if you had sold at a 30% loss in 2021, you might have gotten something that give you 60% gain, 100% gain,
So
200.
you know that I
CPJ was
recognize.
400% gain in 2021.
So I recognize that with the whole fiscal thing.
What did you
So
recognize?
I made it that, so because I was stubborn with the whole loss thing, which is my bad for true. Um, when I'm reflecting on the move that I made, it was a very, very poor move because I could have sold Fisco at a loss and benefited from Fosrich when they did the stock split, because it was around the same time period that I was attacked. Listen, I was in the queue every day watching, and nothing was happening, and You know, I'm not telling because I can't lose any money. But at the same
Oh,
time, this opportunity came and I'm like, look how I could have sold
mhm.
at a lot, realized the loss, right? And still made a good amount of money with the first ridge.
But not a good amount of money. You'd have made much more profit than you'd have lost in the realized loss.
Right.
And
So
the losses are always they're always losses.
mhm.
Like you're thinking, don't realize it by not selling it, but once it's below the price you bought it at, you're at a loss. You know that you're at a loss. You realize it, right?
Right.
So there's no use in pretending that if you sell it at that price, it's somehow different. It's only different in that you have given yourself the option of getting into any other recovery vehicle versus staying in the one that you are in and hoping that it recovers.
Yeah.
So, but
So
any
you know,
tech,
I've learned a
tech
valuable lesson in terms of or maybe it's a principle. Just now you opened my eyes to something.
well,
Um
you're very,
in
very welcome. And
in
if you really do grow, I think you'll
I will
like
do
more of the
it.
things.
I see where you posted that you have something coming up. So I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, I do. Every Mikolak.com/grow. It wouldn't be a BrickTalk if I didn't say it. /GRWR. And we have the growth for October coming up in a couple of weeks. Uh, Thank you. I think you've given a great start and a great ending to your conversation. I think you touched a whole heap of points that a lot of people might have. And just because, like I said, I don't want to keep it too long, I do want to talk to the two other people. So, I mean, you're welcome to stay. You guys can all stay. Whatever the other points are. But let me hear from Sir Lopo and then Ainsley Denton.
Big up in Randy. Yeah, me
Big up,
know,
my bro.
hey, bro. Big up yourself on the strong. Big up for all of the work we do. All I do it right now in the night. For your birthday. I think your dedication knows no bounds, sir.
Well,
I don't
thank
know. I've
you.
been.
But to be fair, this is not difficult. And I out in the field toilet. I sit out in AC
I never
on
said
on
you
the
were
phone.
I never said you were tired. I said your dedication because you could have sit down in the AC and do other things. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
What's up, sir?
not much. I mean, I'm loving the conversation we just had. I think my favorite term, when I really think about it in finance, is realized. Um, just realize because it ties right back to reality,
Yeah.
and I just love that. I think for all the things that we call all of them something, realize gain, realize loss, realize everything. Yeah, man, that makes sense because that selling at a loss thing is like, to me, that logic is like, boy, I'm not gonna buy the food here because I go have less money because I bought the food. Like, yeah, that's how it works.
That
Thing.
that is true. Or you are literally preventing yourself from any and all of the other. If there's anything better out there,
Food.
yeah. If there's anything
Hmm.
better, the only way to definitely not be a part of it is by remaining exactly where you are.
Right.
So that it is literally saying, am I choosing to only stay in the place that has not been working so far? It could change, there's always that things can recover. But am I choosing to stay there, or am I, or to put it another way, am I choosing to only bet on the recovery of this versus 99 other options that might give me the gain that I need plus more?
Hmm. Yeah. 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 Like, I just think that's the fear in the market speaking, because if you don't feel is the confidence being reflected in the share price and your percentage at the time
Hmm.
versus what is the map what is the actual plan, what is the goal that you're expecting, and what was the check marks on the road to get there.
Yep.
Because you have that, and you also have, well, I'm just going to blow up the plan. Some people, I feel like I hear some conversations, and the plan is just like, oh well, it done gone bad already, so I'm not gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah. That's a common thing though, where I mean, especially if you're in somewhere new, that's normal. You could be in somewhere new and yeah, you know, something new happened, something scary happened, you kind of freeze. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I did this thing and it might not be going how I want. I don't want to do nothing else. Like you're looking at a big set of dials and you hit something and the engine stop turning, and
Hmm.
I don't even know if hitting that thing back the other way is going to turn it back on. But afraid, suppose I screw up something else. That's a natural reaction, right? So I don't knock it, I understand it. And I think it is part of the process too. Everybody gets there. Well, it's I know for a fact that you get better once you start changing the view on that.
Hmm.
Yeah, once that view shifts, the market gets extremely different, better, easier, clearer. It doesn't seem like I say all the time that the market don't surprise me. It's not I shouldn't be surprised. I love a surprise on the market, but it rarely happens. So the market being more predictable is the best things that can one of the best things that can happen to any investor, and it comes from it comes directly, in my view, from increasing the level of knowledge and having that shift in thinking that is in many ways linked right back to the sell, the idea of the sell. Because the sell first, you notice people always say, just like corporate body was saying earlier, realizing the loss at the point of selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come at
I
it
mean,
from the loss perspective versus, like I said, the same thing at the buy.
yeah,
Somebody says, I don't want to realize the profit.
but the profit comes at the sale anyway. It's
No,
like,
no, no, not
look at,
just that. They don't say they don't want to realize the profit. They say, yo, I'm up so much on XYZ.
that means there's
Nobody
more to
says it's
come.
unrealized gains. Well, some people do say that. No, it's not realized gains. Like, no, it's still growing. What do you mean? Why would I want to realize
Like,
it? If I realize it, all I'm going to do is put it right back in.
yeah, that's not my style at all.
What?
Me not even book,
Realizing profit?
me not even book
I
unrealized gains. Me not no, me not really take unrealized gains serious because
oh,
to me the execution though done.
well, no, that's true.
And
But the profit point is still a profit point, and when you're in profit, you're in profit. All you do is you're exchanging it for a different type
mhm,
of profit. You're making the same decision. I am saying that I am
yeah,
leaving myself open to all the options that might give me the growth I want next versus just this one that I'm in. It's the same decision,
mhm.
but we look at it from a different perspective when it's up from when it's down, but it's the same exact thing.
But it's the same fear that hold you in if you have a certain mindset, it's the same fear hold you in both of them. It
Yep,
will hold you from selling when you're up, and it will prevent you from selling when you're down. So
yep. Or sometimes
you
it
have to
prevents you
break.
from selling when you're up also.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like you up crazy profit. Like, oh my god, what could you do? That? Let's say because even, and it's also sometimes even when because if you're doing the research and you're doing the work, you have your map as to what is supposed to happen. So you actually get to the point where you're at a point where you're getting crazy profit, and the things that you're expecting to happen don't happen yet. So you're like, oh my god, yeah. But that's
What
why
do
the
I do?
seriousness of what do I do? But that seriousness
Yeah.
of a goal changes the
The whole of
changes
that,
the
yeah,
approach.
yeah, yeah. And you know, the funny thing is, well, you know this, and if you who know how I speak about the goal would know this. Going back to corporate body, she did the same thing when I didn't call her goal her goal. When I just made it the situation that you're in,
Hmm.
suddenly selling the thing to manage the situation that you're in became the only thing that she kept saying. And the
Yeah.
second she do it, I don't know if you remember that moment, like the first moment when you're worried about a sell, but you sell and then suddenly you're out.
I remember that.
Yeah, you're out. Like for me, there's a point in my investment journey where I came to love that moment because it makes things. Even though I lean on it so heavily, because as I was saying to her, you're always scared. Don't ever. Well, one of the pause come from not lying to yourself. You're not scared. At least I haven't met the investor who isn't, the good investor who isn't. You're scared when you're buying, you're scared when you're selling. However, that question for me at the point when I sell is so clarifying. It clears things up immediately because I immediately said to myself, okay, you're scared that you sell because you thought maybe you shouldn't sell. If you really think you shouldn't sell, you have the money in your account right there. Buy it back.
By
Yeah. If you really think you should be in there, there's the money. Buy it back. And if I
I
buy
think
it back,
Mhm.
then I really know which one of the paths based on my research I thought was the best path. Like in my gut, I know what that real path is that I believe in. Not that it must happen, but that's one that I believe in. Because when I look at it and I thought, no, I really shouldn't have sell. Okay, then buy it back. And there have been
Mhm.
situations when I have bought it back. And there are also loads more situations where, okay, no, I'm not buying it back. But having that question asked of you, asking yourself that question, putting it in front of you as a clear option, if you really care so much, fixes the entire part of that investment part for me. So it fixes the fear immediately.
No, but also for me, like when you do the sell and you do the rationalization like that, you're starting back at the loss, no matter how small it is, depending on the stock, depending on the situation. But the buyback, you're like, okay, you can't be at quote unquote that profit anymore. You had the money and you put it back in, so you have a next go. So I guess my fear around the decision is the honest fear is the confidence in research and expectation and growth and how you think market react and people reaction and what is going to happen in the play I'm in after I'm successful is I probably can look at a next situation that I'm looking at for what to put the money in after, and maybe I'm not as confident, or maybe I don't feel I have it as cornered as I want to have it, and so I've dealt with that rationale behind it to be like that has helped me, or I don't know if it helped me. That has had me, holding on to the trigger to sell because I'm like, all right, this is the goal. I needed it for this. It's serious. I'm going to exit. But no, my next play is what I'm. Guess I'm feeling shaky and because I'm like I'm already in this thing and I'm confident about this thing and it happened. So I feel that level
And
of
and the growth you expected has happened.
yeah, it has happened. So
So
I want to leave, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. But is my next play has it gone through all of my checkpoints in that way? So I know that has held me back. It doesn't not as much anymore, and I think it's the muscle of the experience. Like I think what I take every time you say the that the market there's no surprises on the market or there's no that perspective that you have. I
yeah, not that
feel
there's none. Is that it shouldn't be. It
no.
shouldn't be. You shouldn't be surprised all the time, but of course there are surprises.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that what I get from when you say it is not that there's no surprises. It's that the muscle of the experience because it's fun and dandy if you say, yeah, yeah, man, I expect this stock to go up, whatever, whatever. But let's say you don't put the day you buy the different there's a difference between that and the day when I buy the stock, it dropped
Hmm.
5%, and then maybe they drop a little next 7 and then you see it and then you don't have more money and you put in and you're actually actively in the play. Like I feel like a lot of perspective changes when you're doing the things either daily or whatever interval you're on in terms of how you invest.
Hmm.
Like that is that muscle that you build over time is when you feel less surprises because it's not just theory. Like I think a lot of the fear is what happens is like I did something one time and something happened good or bad, and it's like a euphoria or a depression or the ebb and flow of the process, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you really build up the real experience of doing the active work, the up and the down and the seeing it go up and the seeing it go down, and I think that's what equips you for the quote unquote things that surprising. I think there's a lot of narrative I see that is surprising that shouldn't be, from a lot of sourcing where I think that there should be enough muscle memory from actually doing the thing to equip you against it.
But that's if I'm following you correctly, I tell you, there's one thing I know now is that's a blessing.
I say that.
Well, suppose those sources had the muscle memory and were that good.
That is true.
You'd have
It's
more
true.
competition.
Yeah.
You're looking over the people running beside you and realize that, yo, they're running backwards, holding their left foot. But
Yeah.
the race is the race. You still get the gold medal if you come first. I don't need it. If you want to hobble, if my competitor wants to hobble themselves, I know I'm not complaining about that. That's a blessing.
Yeah, I say that too. That's the only person.
Suppose the American sprinters then did discover yam instead of Balco.
Yeah, man, and banana, eh?
Yeah,
Well,
it's actually a blessing.
yeah, for real.
And
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 they all discover it now, but it's just
that's what I've
the
found.
blessing is the environment.
Yeah,
The
but that's what
experience.
I found is the doors are always open there. It's like anybody can get better. Just if it's the market as a training ground, if you will, causes you to. There's no question as to whether or not you've gotten it right. If the share
Right.
price is at 2 and you bought that 1, you got it right. There's some amount of right that you got it. If
Right.
the share price is at 2 and you bought it at 3, there's some amount of you got it wrong. There's no going around the harsh, no questions asked nature of the market. You can choose to interpret 2 a different way, but numerically it is interpreted as less than 3. So if you bought at 3 and it's at 2, you know that, okay, there's some part, that I am not getting something right. As long as there's somebody else getting it right. And when you start when somebody starts getting it right, more people follow that. And then more people follow that, and then more and more people get it right, which is why sprinting is so natural to us as a sport, because all of us did it in primary school.
Yeah.
In the same way, if on the market, you surround yourself with the right people who getting the thing right and looking for ways to continually get it right, you can't help but get better. And the people who follow those people and the people who follow those people will continue to get better. So don't worry about it. It's a blessing now. It means that you're getting easier competition. 10 years from now, the general level of the average Jamaican investor will be even higher. Can you imagine how amazing that market is going to be?
Yeah, I'm hoping exponentially higher, and I'll be happy for that because the muscle memory at that point, 4 years from now, I look forward to.
But you realize that you are going to be part of the market that is getting higher. The easiest way to do it is to ensure that you are getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost certainly going to be better 10 years from now, as long as you look to be better 10 years from now.
We are the market.
There we go. And I'm competitive as hell, so I have to keep up. So the market must be better. Listen to how these ladies have been talking tonight.
For real.
And they're also new. That teacher striker, I don't even want to tell her. So, like when she says something that it's like the child that learns to ride the bicycle on the edge of the wall. just don't teach that child about gravity, because I
You
feel
mess
like
up
if you
the
don't teach
whole
a child about,
Ubuntu.
yeah, like that child, if you never learn about gravity, it might learn to fly, and then we'll know that, yo, human beings can fly. Trust me, there's this boy that lived down my road and him fly all the time. Just when you go to the house, don't mention gravity. Yeah, if she don't know, like if she's really reading the chart, if she's actually reading the charts, that's a conversation I've been waiting years to have.
I mean, listen, I've read charts
No,
to
man, I'm
make
talking.
decisions.
Yeah, I mean the charts,
And
the local charts are readable now,
yeah,
but like
but
I want to talk to somebody else who's actually reading the charts.
no, like the players that she's talking about, I know I've not been doing that from no experience reading any charts. So I
Yeah,
definitely think that conversation is, and the market is going to get to that level, which is great.
the market is at that level. She's doing it,
There you go.
and she's not the only person doing it. I've heard you talk about plays at that speed, but your reasons and your things that you use around the play might be different.
Yeah, yeah. It's a blessing, as you say.
Yeah, it is a blessing.
Anyway,
It's not like
boss,
there's anybody
you,
stopping anybody from getting better. So the door is open for everybody to get better.
true. Boy, pick up yourself and you're strong, dog. I don't know how long you're gonna do this. But me know,
15
me
more
know what,
minutes.
me know
That's how
what.
long I'm going to do it.
All right, cool. We can get our last start then.
Big up our dogs. Ainsley or LV24 Dratini.
Yeah, what going on there?
Not much. What's up?
There, big up on your Earth Strong, first and
Thank you very
foremost.
much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. I'm very grateful for the consistency, for the um podcast them from year, from January to now, I guess. You know, I think I
Mm,
think I've been consistent still.
yeah,
Um,
thank you. That makes one of us.
yeah.
I'm not always happy about it, but thank you. I'm happy. I'm happy after I've done it that I've done it. It's kind of like how I hear some people talk about the gym. You can hate it, but
Mm.
when them done, them glad then they go.
Yeah, and you do it for more than a month, so you develop a lifestyle. Cause them say 3 months it take for farm a lifestyle. So
Uh,
yeah, but
well, thank you.
yeah. Um, but I have a question though. But I wonder like what the difference between in terms of a stock price. What's the
Hmm.
difference between a rights issue and a APO? Like what's the difference in how they affect the stock price? Because I'm thinking that both dilute the stock price, both the
Both
rights issue and the
both
APO,
dilute the stock.
as in both lower the stock price.
No, none of them lower the stock. Well, both offer shares at a lower price, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, because I was remembering
Well,
where
hold on,
ex-
we're clear on that, right? Both a rights issue and an APO often offer shares to investors at a lower price.
yeah, both of our discount.
Yeah, generally.
Right.
So what your question is, what is the difference between the two of them, or
In terms of
why?
in terms of the share price, like I see that they both affect the share price by lowering the price with the discount.
None of you mean lowering the price on the market, the price of the shares on the market?
Right.
None of them do that. Yeah, I think that's you're coming at the thing with a view that isn't necessarily is not accurate. It seems accurate, it's a popular view, but it's not actually accurate.
All right.
Um, and you want to understand, the best thing I can tell you is you want to understand the reality of both of those things, like what actually happens
Mm-hmm.
in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be a great start to understanding it. But first you just have to understand what actually happens.
Right. I was thinking about it like you said that the APO removes the right of or the preemptive right of the regular retail investor
Well, an
and the
APO
right.
is usually not usually, well, an APO is after the shareholders vote to remove their preemptive rights and the shares are offered to the public, yeah, or external shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking of, I was trying to research like previous APOs and rights issues, but I'm
Hmm.
stumped because like you know you give the example like if the stock is at like $5 and then
You say
the
you're
APO come.
stumped? What are you stumped by?
Yeah, but well, it's just that the time to do the proper research to find like a AP a rights issue of the past. But
Hmm.
I remember because I came into the market 2019, so I remember the APOs. I remember JMMB,
Oh, I get
and
you.
I can see real time where JMMB is at right now. But in terms of
Yeah,
rights issue, I can't remember any of that and how it affected the share price.
I can do two things. One of them I'll tell you about that second. The first one I'll tell you how. No, I'll tell you first. I think the last rights issue on the market was, I want to, was it KP Reeds
KP routes to
or
the APO.
no. KP Reed had a rights issue before a few years ago. Maybe
Oh,
when you were in the market 2019. Most people didn't know it, so it was very quiet. Or Key in 2020 did a rights issue also, a pure rights issue, um, a pure renounceable rights issue. Excellent example of it if you want to look at that, right? But if you want generally to know things about the market,
mm,
remember that there's history about the market that is literally a telling of what exactly happened. So you don't have to limit yourself to when you joined.
yeah.
The beauty is that you can go and check how it was way back. On My Money JA, we have data going way back. We have data going back to the 90s in some cases. So you
Okay.
can see exactly what happened. So just Google, check when there's a rights issues on the JSC, or if you go on My Money JA, there's a little feature in the left hand column called there's a little feature under tools called corporate actions. And you just
Mm,
click rights issue on that and change the date and carry the date back. That's a feature that's actually going to go. It will be limited for premium users, but for now, I believe everybody can access it, so they can take a little look at it, and you can just look at what the rights issues that have happened in the past are. It's not like there are that many of them, so there's enough for you
mm,
to tell. But like I said, if you want one to look at, that's a nice pure example. Look at Key
mm.
Insurance.
Right.
Yeah, and
Oh,
that's one of the more recent ones. You can go further back, and there are others.
yeah, because I'm on the website, but it's limited to 2021. But I can do some external research then.
Okay. Well, I
Uh,
mean, you can. I told you Key, so you can go to Key's
Key,
page and
right?
you'll be able to see it. Yeah, Key Insurance.
Yeah, because man, check it out. Because when as a layman, like thinking about it regularly, like they offer the discount and you know
Yeah.
you have the X date. So I guess like people would react positively to try to get in before the X date. So I guess that would rise the price. And then
I
now
can't say.
after
I don't know which one. I don't know what you're talking about there.
in general,
Which one?
APR rights issue.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that would happen to the rights issue,
That
you know.
that that
Because,
could happen in a right issue. It's not a must, but that can happen in a right issue. But
yeah.
you have to understand fully. It's not. Listen. You have to know how the thing actually works in order to then start predicting things around the thing. So that's step
Mhm.
one. You want to go and you're on the right path in wanting to understand it, but actually understand it, understand what it
Yeah,
is, how it works, all of that before you start
yeah,
trying to guess price movement around it, because there's no hard and fast rule as is people.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, but just check out how it works first. You can Google it. You can check. Um, like I say, in fact, if you check the key insurance document, they explain
Yeah,
a
man.
lot of it in it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think the director's circular is what it's called.
All right then. Now, yeah, man, and they don't explain it well from the first time, so
Okay,
I have
but
an
don't
idea.
just lean on my explanation of it. Actually read what it say.
Yeah, man, I'll do it.
All
At
right.
least, have some of start cause I never know where, to go. So now,
That's perfect. Yeah, man. Just read. If you read that, it has a nice little explanation in there, all kind of things, and you can check out. Like I said, KP Reed had one a few years back. You can check that out
yeah, man, for strengthening thing.
also. Yeah, and going back. I mean, the rest of them sleeping me now, but going back, you can. That's a good little thing that you can see.
Yeah, man.
All right, Ainsley.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you everybody who has jumped in tonight. I did say keeping it short, so I'm keeping it short and cutting it now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for all the well wishes from everybody who sent them. Thank you for the people who said that this has helped them a lot and the things we put out have helped them over time. Thank you for that night for doing so many of these with me over the years. Check out the Earning Season Podcast, earningseasonpodcast.com. And of course, this is available there also. And I'm thankful for so many people being positively affected, and we'll keep doing it. If you know that old saying about each one teach one, bring somebody else in, have somebody else learn about investing and how it can help them, how it can help change your life, or just make you manage your money better, or have some money, or it might be the hustle that you can have from your job or your, God forbid, hospital bed. But yeah, um, thank you to everybody. Thank you for enjoying the show. I hope you have enjoyed the show. Sorry about not having the YouTube version up. This computer is going to take up a lot of my tomorrow with me kicking it around, but I hope the audio version is still good. If you're listening on the podcast, big up. Some of you might realize that I'm not putting up the episodes on the podcast, and the podcast has a little bit more information than the YouTube does. And we like to put that extra value in there for the OG podcast listeners. So earningseasonpodcast.com. Check it out. And thanks everybody again, and have a good night.
Brick Boss. Wins again, bro. Take care.
Earning season, bro.